Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, members of your education team, and all of you to Dedham High School. As chair of the Select Board and a proud Dedham High School alum, I'm honored for our town to host this important announcement that speaks to the innovation and leadership of Dedham's educational commitment. Standing here today in the same auditorium that I received my diploma, and now as a parent of Dedham middle and high school students, I'm proud of our ongoing legacy of educational excellence. Did you know, a quick quiz, that Dedham holds the distinction of establishing the first taxpayer-supported public school system in the nation? Yeah. This historic legacy of educational innovation continues today. We're excited that Dedham is being recognized for our comprehensive offerings, including state-aligned curriculum, the seal of biliteracy that encourages language acquisition, and a wide range of AP courses to help our students get a head start on college credits. I'm particularly grateful for Governor Maura Healey, local leaders here today, including Representative McMurtry and Senator Rush, our distinguished graduation council members, the dedicated parents, engaged students, and business, labor, and community partners who have collaborated to bring these recommendations forward. On behalf of Dedham, it is now my great honor to welcome to the podium our Governor, Maura Healey.
Good morning. Good morning, and thank you, Chair. Chair Bowes-Welch, thank you so much for hosting us today in Dedham, welcoming us today. And you know, that line did not get enough applause, Marauders. That's a big deal. You guys are home to the first school, the first taxpayer-funded school in the country. That's a big deal. I'm just reminded, because we're going to celebrate 250 years of this great country this year, okay, in 2026. And of course, we started partying earlier this year because Massachusetts is where it all began. And so it's wonderfully consistent with that to know that right here, Dedham, Massachusetts is home to the first taxpayer-funded school in the country. Awesome, awesome thing, and really the right setting for today's really important and exciting announcement. It's an exciting announcement because it's about the future of high school here in Massachusetts. Thank you as well to Superintendent Murphy, Principal Forrest, the faculty, the staff, and the students at Dedham High School. It's great to be here today with all these folks. I'm going to tell you who some of them are. We have our Lieutenant Governor, Kim Driscoll, who's a former chair of the Salem School Committee, Secretary of Education, Pat Tutwiler, Commissioner Pedro Martinez of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, Chair Catherine Craven of the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education, Commissioner Amy Kershaw of the Department of Early Education and Care. I'm so grateful to our partners in the legislature for so much, and so glad that we are joined today by Leader Alice Peisch, and as mentioned, our Senator Mike Rush and Representative Paul McMurtry, and I do want to thank the leaders of the Education Committee, Leader Peisch and Chair Gordon as well. We also have with us members of our statewide K-12 Graduation Council. These include teachers, parents, students, labor leaders, community leaders, college and business leaders, among others. They represent every kind of student and every kind of community in Massachusetts. Thank you for being here. They also include President Jessica Tang, AFT of Massachusetts. That's the American Federation of Teachers, Massachusetts. Shelley Terry, an award-winning teacher from Plymouth North High School, who already went to our classroom this morning and came up to be with us. And Annabelle Griffin, a student at Norton High School. We have parents and caregivers who want the very best for our children, including Maria Fenwick from Scituate, who's with us today. Okay. Good morning. Happy Monday. How was Thanksgiving? Yes? Any leftovers? No? You're through with those? Okay, great. Well, I'm really happy to look out and see all of you young people, okay? Because I want you to know that the work we do in government every day, whether it's trying to build more homes or trying to lower costs or trying to, have the best transit system, the best education system, the cleanest water and cleanest air to breathe, opportunities for you guys, okay? That's what today is about, fundamentally. We're a state that for a long, long time has invested in and cares about our young people. Because you guys not only are our future, you're our now. You're our now. And I don't ever want you to forget that. Because as you leave Dedham High School, know that you need to make your voice heard. You have a role in this government, a role in this democracy. You have a voice now, and you have a voice for the rest of your lives, okay? So hold us all accountable and speak to what you need and what you want. And know that, as we set up things in our office, I've made a point to make sure I have a youth council for just about every subject matter area, because we want to hear from you guys. You guys actually know a lot more than us about a lot of things, and we want that benefit. But today, we're here to make an announcement about what high school is going to look like in Massachusetts. Okay, I mentioned 250 years of education in Massachusetts. Well, this is about reimagining high school in Massachusetts and making sure that every student who leaves a Massachusetts high school leaves with the tools, the resources, the wherewithal to be as successful as they can possibly be. Whether they're going on to college, whether they're going into the trades or into a career, whether they're joining the military, whatever that is, from wherever students are in Massachusetts. Today is about making sure that they leave with what they deserve, which is to be set up for success. We opened, so this doesn't happen by accident. It takes a lot of people coming together. You know that we're #1 in the country for education? You know that? We were. We're #1 in the country for education. And we're not going to give that ranking up. Let me tell you a little bit about how we got there. So it's about our teachers and our school leaders, our families, our students, our employers that really work hard at the state and local level to make things work and to put our students and education first. And like a good student, we don't stop improving. This is one of these critical moments right now for our state. Last year, there was a vote by the voters to get rid of the MCAS graduation requirement. And that gave us an opportunity to think about what high school should really look like. And so today, we're here to announce that, as I said a year ago that we were going to work together to create a new model for students in Massachusetts, a new vision that sets every high school student up for success. And today, we're speaking to that. Because here in our state, we don't turn away from students, and we don't back down from high expectations. We're not giving up our #1 ranking in education. As I say, that's so important for what it means for our students, for your families, for our economy. And we will never give up on any student or any community. So we're moving away from high stakes to high expectations and seizing this moment, this opportunity to reach all of our students and make a Massachusetts high school diploma more meaningful than ever. Today, we are taking a first step. We're releasing a statewide graduation framework that gives our students the most rigorous, complete, and useful public education in America, an education that's a launch pad. Now, here are some of the basics. It starts with a strong foundation of coursework in certain core subjects, like STEM and language skills that everyone needs, no matter what path they choose. It includes exams that are not high stakes, but are the actual course you just took, okay? That will also allow us to phase out MCAS in 10th grade. It includes a capstone project or a portfolio project that showcases students' abilities, because tests are only one way to demonstrate what you've learned to do. We want students to graduate ready for their next step, whatever that is. And that's why every student would complete a career and academic plan with the guidance they need to meet goals. They'll also complete federal and state financial aid applications, FAFSA or MAFSA. So if you want to go to college, that red tape will be out of the way. And every student in Massachusetts is going to learn financial literacy so that you can better manage your money and make decisions that are good for you. All of this together will prepare every student for success, for whatever path they choose. I have high expectations of every young person in this state, and I want you all to have the tools that you need, that are real, that are reachable, for success in today's world. So instead of putting up barriers to graduating, this is going to be about building bridges to the future that you want. Now, importantly, what we're announcing today builds on great things that are already happening in our schools. You know, my mom was a school nurse. My stepdad was a high school history teacher, basketball coach. And I know in schools across this great state of ours, great things are happening. So we want to build on those investments by announcing this framework. We also want to build on the investments that together our administration and the legislature have made. Investments in things like career pathway programs, vocational education, early college, and college affordability. I want to thank all the teachers, administrators, parents, students, colleges, and employers across this state who gave their input for these recommendations. Together, I believe that we're building the foundation for the next chapter of Massachusetts leadership in education. Today is only the beginning, okay? This represents our initial framework. We've got a lot more work to do to finalize these standards together. To the teachers, let me just say that this framework is based on the outstanding work that you are already doing in classrooms every single day. The success of the final product will depend on educator input every step of the way, using the experience and the knowledge of our educators. For our district and school leaders, this isn't about reinventing the wheel, and it's not about mandates. What it is about is drawing on the strengths that make our schools #1 in the country, and working with all of you to bring them to every student in our state. For employers, I want you to know that when you get an application from a Massachusetts high school graduate, you're looking at someone with strong skills who's ready to contribute. And I want you to continue to grow here, employers and businesses, because you know that Massachusetts already has the best workforce in the country, and we're going to continue to add to that. And finally, to every parent and caregiver out there, it's really important to me that you know that when you send your kids off to school in Massachusetts, you know that they are getting the very best education possible. An education that prepares them for success, no matter what they choose to do. And that's really what today is all about. And that's the guarantee that together we're going to make happen. So thank you to everybody who's come here today. And I'm just so excited to get all of this started. And the person who's really been at the helm driving a lot of this is our fabulous Secretary of Education, Pat Tutwiler.
Thank you, Governor. Give it up for the governor one more time. Good morning. Good morning. I know it's Monday and you just got back from a break, but good morning. It got worse, actually. How did that happen? It is an honor and a privilege to be here with you all today, to be welcomed to the Dedham community. Got to give my flowers, as the governor did, to Superintendent Murphy for welcoming us, to Principal Forrest. I know it is not a light lift to have convening an event like this on a day after or just coming back from a short vacation. Thank you all for welcoming us, and thank you for the work that you're doing here at Dedham High School. It really exemplifies the spirit of the work that we're here to lift up today. We've got a lot of students here. Are any of you all in 8th grade? Oh, you made the walkover. That's fantastic. Where's Mr. Benzie? He didn't make it. Okay. You've got a fabulous assistant principal in Mr. Benzie. Thank you all for being here, 8th graders, and thank you all for being here, high school students as well. Now listen, I know you weren't expecting to come back from vacation and have this kind of event. You've got the governor, the lieutenant governor, Pedro Martinez, Shaq O'Neal, all on your first day back. In all seriousness, today marks an important milestone for public education in Massachusetts. Over the past 10 months, the Statewide Graduation Council has wrestled with a fundamental question. What does it mean to prepare every high school student in Massachusetts for the future that they choose, for the life that they envision for themselves? Now, that question is not lost on me, and it's not an abstract one for me either. Before having the privilege of being your Secretary of Education, I spent 15 years in Massachusetts public high schools as a teacher, as an assistant principal, as a principal, and I've seen firsthand how hard educators work to create meaningful learning opportunities. I've seen firsthand the high hopes that families have for their children, and I know how much all of you, how much all our students can accomplish when the standards are high and the system that supports them is equitable and coherent. That lived experience for me has shaped my approach to this work and makes me so incredibly proud to celebrate this first milestone. Now, we're all family here this morning. We can acknowledge an uncomfortable truth, and it is this. Over the past 25, 30 years, we've seen elementary schools evolve pretty substantively. We've seen middle schools evolve pretty substantively in terms of education and experience. High school, not as much. See all of you that are holding those signs that say Reimagine High School? That is real, and that is a commitment that this administration is lifting up and engaging substantively, ensuring that every graduate is truly prepared for life after high school. How are we doing that? As the governor said, increasing access to career-connected learning by adding seats to career technical education, adding or expanding innovation career pathways, where about 30% of high schools having at least one in the present moment. Building deeper relevance through growing early college opportunities and advancing tools like My Career and Academic Plan, which help students put the puzzle pieces of coursework and experience together into a workable plan to pursue their dreams after high school. Today's framework builds on that foundation. The governor went through all of the wonderful council members who are here, and I want to thank them for the hard work that they've been engaging over the past 10 months, for bringing their expertise and, frankly, bringing their heart to this work. And thank you to the thousands of Massachusetts residents who participated in the listening sessions and in the surveys. Your voices ground this framework in the realities of our schools. What we're releasing today, as the governor said, is an initial framework, a starting point. It outlines the importance of coursework, offers more opportunities for students to demonstrate their learning in ways that reflect their strengths, and supports them in planning the next chapter of their lives, whether that's higher ed or entering the workforce. This is not about reinventing what works. It's about amplifying strong practices already taking root. And I've seen it firsthand in many districts. I see the superintendent of Salem here. I see the superintendent of Springfield here, superintendent of Taunton, of Chicopee. I've seen this work happening wonderfully in districts. We're trying to amplify this incredible work. We want to ensure that all students in all communities benefit from the same strong foundation. It recognizes this framework that students learn and show mastery in multiple ways, and notably that purpose and preparation matter just as much as content. Now, I am encouraged by this framework and what it represents, and I think you can see how enthusiastic I am about it. It represents a shared belief in high expectations, a commitment to clarity and coherence, and a deep respect for the work already happening in our classrooms. And I'm encouraged because this effort reflects what Massachusetts is all about. Educators working together in collaboration with families, students, and partners, all coming together to build something that's ambitious and achievable for all of you, the next generation. To everyone who contributed to this process, I thank you for your partnership and for your leadership. Together, we will build a graduation pathway that honors students' talents, expands their opportunities, and helps them step into their future with confidence and purpose. And with that, it is my distinct honor to welcome Massachusetts' new member of Team Massachusetts. And I said Pedro Martinez, and all the students were looking and said, wait, where is it? I got my notepad for an autograph. My pleasure to welcome to the podium the Commissioner of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, Pedro Martinez.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's give it to our secretary again, an amazing leader. And I want to just really thank the members of the statewide Graduation Council for their work this year. All of these students, all these are volunteers that have full-time jobs, whether it's in higher education, running nonprofits, supporting students like you, teachers. We have our student that's going to be speaking later. And I'll tell you, they came together because of you. And I want to especially thank our governor, Governor Healey, and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll for their leadership and support. We couldn't have done any of this work without your leadership. The research and feedback we collected on the council showed us that our graduation standards had to be comprehensive. So students, when you look at what we're doing, it's really easy to take each component, but you can't do each component. It's a comprehensive package because we need a comprehensive set of experiences to which all students can have access to. The proposals we're introducing today are designed to deliver that. As part of this proposal, students will map out their goals and make choices that align to their interests in keeping all their doors open. Students, I always get this question of, Commissioner, what's the best career path? What can I do to be successful? And I always say, what actually ignites your passion? What is it that gets you excited? We also are making sure that the courses you take will align with college admission requirements, and at the end of course assessments will give students an objective look at their own progress. A capstone project or portfolio will allow students to demonstrate their knowledge and skills in different ways. We hear from many students wanting to make sure that they understand the connection of high school to what's going to happen after high school. Our financial literacy requirements will help students to make informed decisions. By the way, the #1 request we got from parents, students, teachers was for students to have financial literacy. And it will help you as you think about college financial aid forms and making sure that that the planning process is in place to keep college and all options for all of our students. For our teachers, these proposals will help students see the connection between what you're teaching and the student's future success. For employers, these proposals will help give students the academic foundation and practical skills you've been asking for. Every student will build a career and academic plan that will help them make informed choices about their futures, including what steps lead to a career in different industries. Students, we grew up always having the question of what do you want to be? And I always felt like that was the wrong question. The real question is, again, what excites you? And then how do we help you get there? What are the coursework? What are the degrees? What are the certifications that will help you get there? Because students, there's nothing crueler than having one of your colleagues do all the work, get all the right grades, and then find out as they're finishing high school that they weren't prepared for all the options that they could have been prepared for, especially when other colleagues across other high schools in the state were being prepared. So again, students, know that this is the beginning of the work, but this is, as the governor said, it's about you. You are the reason, along with our teachers, school leaders, district leaders, that we're #1 in the country. You're the reason we're going to stay #1 in the country. And now we will turn it over to our amazing superintendent, Superintendent Murphy, to continue. Thank you, everyone.
Well, good morning. As I stand on the stage this morning, I would be remiss to not recognize that most superintendents go an entire career without an event like this happening. We have the honor of hosting our team across the Commonwealth, our educational leaders, in part because of the excellent work that Dedham Public Schools has been recognized for doing over the last 2.5 years, and I could not be more proud to say welcome to Dedham. So as you've heard this morning, this is a really exciting time in education in Massachusetts and in districts across the Commonwealth, as we are reflecting on our current practices and pushing forward new approaches that better prepare students for success in college, career, and in life. We know we must continually adapt to the new challenges and opportunities our graduates will encounter beyond high school. Across our state, educators are thoughtfully considering how to strike the right balance between long-standing practices that have served our students so well and the innovative approaches that deepen engagement through classroom learning and real-world experiences. Over the past 2.5 years, Dedham educators, leaders, students, families, and community members have worked together to shape a strong and forward-looking vision for our graduates. As we reimagined our graduation standards, we strengthened the strategies that are already making a positive impact, including our Portrait of a Learner, the Mass Core curriculum, the Seal of Biliteracy, while also advancing new and innovative efforts. Dedham is expanding opportunities for students to demonstrate mastery through purposeful assessments, developing a district-wide implementation of MyCap to help students take ownership of their futures, and developing innovation career pathways that provide real-world experiences for students as they pursue college and career goals. By placing academics at the heart of our work, we foster every student's social and emotional development, empowering them to flourish as learners and community members. These efforts are not possible if not for the incredible work of our dedicated staff. I am grateful to our outstanding teachers, leaders, guidance counselors, the entire Dedham team. I also want to thank the members of our Dedham School Committee, some of whom are here with us today, for their willingness to imagine a new way of doing business while always setting high standards and expectation for all students. They have been outstanding partners every step of the way. Like so many of my colleagues here in Dedham and throughout the Commonwealth, I look forward to the continued conversations and learning around the recommendations in the Graduation Council's report. We are incredibly fortunate to live and work in a state with vast expertise and a broad range of experiences in public education. I am hopeful students and adults alike will reflect on the work the Graduation Council has done and offer their insights to help chart a course forward that ultimately leads to the success of all students across our Commonwealth. Thank you again for choosing Dedham. It has been an honor to have you all here today, and it is now my pleasure to introduce the President of Massachusetts American Federation of Teachers, Jessica Tang.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, Superintendent Murphy. It is great to be in Dedham, conveniently 15 minutes away from my house. I live in Rosendale, so I'm here all the time, and it's great to actually be in one of the schools finally. I drive by all the time, and this is, I think the most important institution in a community. So as a member of the Statewide Graduation Council, I thank Governor Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Secretary Tutwiler, and Commissioner Martinez for their commitment to addressing the evolving needs of our students, our educators, and our schools. And we've appreciated the opportunity to ensure educators have a voice in these initial discussions regarding what comes next for our high school students. This report includes items we've advocated for, including accessibility to key academic courses, college and career planning, and attention to different types of learners. This is a starting point, and we look forward to continuing to work with the council, ensuring students, parents, and local school communities have the opportunity to respond to these initial recommendations. The next phase of the council's work will be crucial. Hashing out the final details, including implementation timelines and the availability of resources to support our schools, will be the most important step in order to build the necessary consensus on a path forward. Our hope is that the final recommendation accurately reflects what we know residents want: a better secondary school graduation system that moves away from high-stakes testing as well as over-testing. There is an opportunity here to create a better system that authentically reflects and supports the current educational needs of our students, including a focus on deeper learning, critical thinking, lifelong learning, and preparedness for a college, vocation, civic life, and career. The AFT Massachusetts is committed to the work of the council and continued partnership to ensure the needs of those most impacted by these decisions are addressed and taken into account at every step of this process before any final decisions are made. And at this point, I'd like to welcome another grad council member, Shelley Terry, who is a teacher at Plymouth North High School.
Good morning. I would like to thank Governor Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Secretary Tutwiler, and Commissioner Martinez for the opportunity to speak with you all today, and also for the opportunity to serve as a teacher representative on the statewide graduation council. As an educator, I know that the courses and learning experiences that our students engage in are the foundation of the formative years of high school. My work as a teacher has always been about creating meaningful learning experiences while also challenging my students to meet ambitious learning goals. This framework offers a balanced model of assessment for our students, moving us toward a more holistic approach that values inquiry, critical thinking, and authenticity, while also including a consistent measure that helps ensure equity for all students, a balance I think most educators would say is important. I'm especially encouraged by the ways it accommodates diverse learning needs, including English learners. At the heart of this framework is a focus on who our students are becoming and not just what they know. One of the best parts about being a teacher is making those real connections with my students, and we often talk about their future plans, whether that's choosing a college, learning a trade, or joining the military. That's why I'm thrilled to see recommendations that elevate post-secondary readiness, like requiring that all students develop an individualized academic and career plan, giving them the understanding and tools they need to succeed in whatever comes next. To be sure, there are still many key considerations to address before full implementation. As a teacher, I'm always thinking about the practical details and how this will ultimately play out in our classrooms. The success of this framework will depend on continued collaboration and seeking input from all stakeholders, especially from teachers. I trust that the Secretary and Commissioner will continue to engage in wide outreach to all educators in Massachusetts to ensure that the final roadmap honors educator expertise and the experiences in support of our students. Thank you again to the administration for this opportunity and this framework, and I look forward to the work that lies ahead. And at this time, I would like to welcome to the podium Maria Fenwick, Situate parent.
Thank you so much. I'm pleased to share my perspective as a parent of 3 children spanning from grades 1 through 8 in the Situate Public Schools. I also bring with me the perspective of someone who takes very seriously the promise of public education to provide for each and every child across the Commonwealth, something I personally strive for in my role on my town's school committee and in my past work as a Boston Public Schools teacher. I'm glad that Massachusetts is taking the opportunity to reevaluate what we want our high school diploma to stand for. From a parent and guardian lens, as we take this all in, I think we will naturally wonder, does this fit? Does this fit my child? Will my child have a path that honors their skills, strengths, and needs and will get them where they need to be? And does this serve my child? Does this set my child up for success by offering both adequate challenges, ones that will prepare them for life after high school, and adequate opportunities to meet those challenges? This plan represents progress from the idea that students will be successful as long as they know how to read, write, and do their math. While I certainly acknowledge the necessity of being competently skilled in those subjects, I think most of us can agree that finding success both within and beyond school is more complex than that. We need to pay attention to how we examine information, draw connections, advocate for ourselves and others, work across differences, and navigate the world with curiosity and empathy. And if you like the sound of those are direct quotes from the vision of a Massachusetts graduate, and I encourage parents to check that out for yourselves. In order to develop their recommendations, the Statewide Graduation Council analyzed survey data from numerous stakeholders to create a set of design principles. Like the vision of a graduate, they are more expansive than our previous notions of what it meant to graduate from high school. Importantly, these include both academic and real-world skills, such as critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and digital literacy. Essential life skills, such as financial literacy and civic responsibility. And providing flexibility for students to personalize their learning, among others. It is clear that the goal of these recommendations is to open doors for our students. The plan is inclusive of all students, whatever their current or future path, and also aims to act in the best interest of all students, ensuring that they will have the skills and knowledge they need in college, career, and civic life beyond high school. With that in mind, I am pleased to introduce our next speaker, Annabelle Griffith, a student from Norton High School and member of the Statewide Graduation Council.
As a student representative of the K-12 Statewide Graduation Council, I'm proud to support these recommendations because they reflect what students truly need in order to succeed, both in school and long after graduation. Throughout this process, students have been at the center of the conversation. These recommendations help ensure that no matter a student's background or zip code, they have a clear, equitable, and meaningful path to earning a diploma. By maintaining consistent course rigor while also supporting diverse learning needs, we are recognizing that success doesn't look the same for every student, and that flexibility is not lowering expectations, but meeting students where they are. It is also important to recognize that students shouldn't be expected to know their exact future plans when they enter high school. By aligning graduation requirements with state university expectations, while still allowing for flexibility in multiple pathways, these recommendations keep doors open rather than closing them too early. They maximize opportunities for students to change their minds, explore their interests, and pursue post-secondary options without unnecessary barriers. I'm especially encouraged by the emphasis on real-world skills and pathways aligned with students' future goals. Whether a student plans to attend college, enter the workforce, enlist in the military, or pursue a career and technical path, these recommendations validate those choices and prepare students for life after high school. Ultimately, this report represents months of thoughtful collaboration and a shared belief that graduation should be both rigorous and relevant. I strongly support these recommendations due to their ability to provide clarity and expand opportunity, ensuring that graduation does not limit a student's future, but launches it with confidence. I would now like to welcome to the podium Doug Howgate, President of the Massachusetts Taxpayers Foundation.
All right, great job, Annabelle.
And can we give another round of applause for Annabelle, both for participating, and I will just say, I'm Doug Howgate from the Mass Taxpayers Foundation, and I want to thank the Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Secretary Tutwiler, Commissioner Martinez for the opportunity to speak here today, but more importantly for the opportunity to participate in the council. And I think one of the things in the council that's been most, refreshing and inspiring is the voices from everyone involved, but especially the students, right? We have several student voices, and I think hearing their perspective may not look like it, but I wasn't in high school. I haven't been in high school in a couple of years. And so hearing from folks about what it takes for them, what they want to get out of high school is so important. So I stand here today also in support of the framework that was released, that's being released today, that sets forward kind of the core elements of a high school graduation standard that's going to work for all students in Massachusetts. There are few responsibilities that are more central to Massachusetts' economic and civic success than establishing a consistent, rigorous, objective way to make sure that all students in Massachusetts, no matter what school they attend or what community they call home, have a chance to succeed in high school. And I think that the framework that's put in place today sets forth clear and thoughtful elements that are going to lead to that type of standard. The strength of Massachusetts K-12 education system isn't just something that we all take pride in. It's really reflective of our state's greatest natural resource. But we cannot take that strength for granted. And without a shared framework and a shared set of goals and standards for what high school success looks like, we are not going to be able to maintain that place as home to the best public schools in Massachusetts. This report makes clear that those shared goals need to include consistent coursework. It needs to include the skills for students to succeed both in and out of the classroom. And it also needs to include a way for us to assess and make sure that students have mastered those skills and that coursework. I serve on the council with Ed Lambert from the Mass Business Alliance for Education, J.D. Chesloff from the Mass Business Roundtable, and we hear from our members in the business community loud and clear about how critically important it is that Massachusetts not just continue to produce the most highly educated workforce in the nation, but that we make sure that we're continuing to move forward so that all districts, all schools, all students have access to the same level of educational excellence. I think the work in this, that this framework reflects is an incredibly important first step in that process, and I look forward to continuing to work with the members of the council and the Healey-Driscoll administration on the next steps of this work. And with that, I'll give it back to Governor Healey.
Well, many thanks to all the speakers, and many thanks to all who came out today. I think that Annabelle really said it well when she said it was about opening doors. Opening doors and making sure that we're working to give our students what's relevant, what's rigorous, and what's going to set you all up for success. That's what we want. And we want that opportunity for every student in every school, in every community around our great state. So thank you to all of those who are in the field of education for the work that you do day in and day out. When you get back to your classrooms, thank your teachers, okay? And your coaches and your counselors, even your school nurses, all of them, okay? Because they're there for you. And many thanks to all of you who spend the time on school committees in a volunteer capacity as well. You know, we're gonna take our time here and really get this right with a lot of input so that Massachusetts has really something that could be a model for the country in terms of, you know, an education model that is delivering for this moment. And, you know, I say that recognizing that we already are number one. And we've got a lot of people who've worked really hard, students, educators, families, local and state leadership, funding and supporting that, okay? So we start from a really good place. But I'm a little competitive, and go Patriots, huh? Tonight, big game. Yeah. So this is just about making sure that we draw on everybody's talent and we put out there the very best product to serve you guys and your little brothers and sisters to come, okay? Have a great start to the week, everybody. Thanks so much for coming.